welcome in. I want to talk to you guys about the rise and the decline of celebrity obsession. Don't you feel like it's not important now that if you seen a celebrity, you would just I know when I see him, I just walk past. But I wanted to bring up and talk about the rise and decline of celebrity obsession. Because once upon a time, celebrities weren't just famous. They were untouchable. Back in the golden age of hip hop and Hollywood, stars like Marilyn Monroe, James Dean, Elizabeth Taylor, Richard Pryor weren't seen as regular people. They were icons, carefully sharpened by movie studios, photography, and they had so many people around them that made sure that they were sculpted in a way that it just seemed like they were in another world, to be honest. It really seemed like when I remember okay, so I remember seeing Michael Jackson when he performed at the Super Bowl, right? Like people fainting. I'm talking about you don't see that anymore. Like if you saw a celebrity walking down the street, I mean, it's just a regular person. It's no fandom. They had, I think it was I can't recall what the name of it is, but like Michael Jackson was so, famous that he couldn't go places. Just like with Beyonce, right? She can't go anywhere really because people are gonna swarm because fans just couldn't get enough. Every gossip column, every magazine cover was a ticket into the glamorous universe because we didn't know. You get what I'm saying? You really just didn't know. If you wanted to know something about Prince, you better cut one of his interviews. But you didn't know anything about Prince. That's why I was so when his ex-wife went on. I remember when his ex-wife went on Real Housewives of oh no, it was Ex-Wives of Hollywood or something like that. People tune into that particular show, and I'm speaking for me, right? Because these were women that were married to men that you didn't know too much of nothing about. Eddie Murphy, you done heard the rumors. We ain't even gotta go there. But you didn't know about Eddie Murphy or Prince, right? So it was just fascinating. I mean, fast forward a few decades and celebrity culture hit its peak. I want to say around 1990, the early 2000s, magazines like People and US Weekly flew off grocery store shelves and all that. Paparazzi chasing down these people in the airports and down city streets. Y'all remember what happened to Princess Diana? Rest in peace. She was a sweet lady. I didn't know her personally, but she just seemed like a very sweet lady. Um, But yeah, them people were getting paid like thousands of dollars just to get a picture of someone. And then here came the internet, and instantly everything started to cool down. It was like throwing gasoline on the fire in a sense. Because I remember when Perez Hilton had came out, then you had TMZ was out. I can't remember if Perez came out first, TMZ, or if they were kind of like around the same time. And then you had what reality TV really started to come out because I remember when the Kardashians first came out because I watched them. I remember when Paris Hilton and Nicole Richie had that show, The Simple Life. That was my show. You hear me? I was all for it because I don't know what it was, but I was just all for it, right? But yeah, those type of people, famous for being famous became like pop culture, right? So like being a star was no longer a talent. All you needed to do is just be famous enough to push something, right? I mean, that's how I feel. I mean, you can feel how you want to feel, but I'm just saying that's how I feel. I mean, but here's where I feel like the story kind of shifted. As technology blew celebrity culture kind of wide, it also broke it down because social media gave the spotlight to everybody and anyone. Y'all see it. Sometimes you're like, who they? Can we please take they phone? Both of them, the foo too. You got regular people with phones and ideas that can, they can build their own followers, which is cool because you want, there are good influencers, right? I remember at one point influencers were dismissed by celebrities. Like you ain't real, you not really no celebrity, you just known. But when they started pulling those big audiences and getting them big bucks and they started competing with them stars, then the stars want to, kind of trickle on down. Like a celebrity breakup or a few used to like few weeks of headlines. Now it'll trend a couple hours and then it's gone because people got other things to do. I want to say that I feel that people have declined away from that celebrity. It's just people are just tired, right? There's like a kind of cultural fatigue around celebrating people for just being in movies and all that, like we speculate how much of them are really polished and manufactured because now we're seeing with the veil of ignorance being lifted, you're seeing these people are really flawed. I mean, it seems like the sicker you are, the higher you go, which is just absolutely absurd, but whatever. But I think that with Gen Z, especially, they want to see something different. They want to see authentic people in authentic positions, right? I would hope so. They'd rather follow TikToker because they can relate to them more and they can see them more versus a movie star where it's like, you're living in a mansion and you driving a Rolls Royce and I could relate to somebody who, they got a Kia and they have an apartment and we both going through our struggles together. Like as you grow, I'm growing. So I can relate to that, right? So social media has moved on. Fame alone doesn't guarantee relevance anymore because you can see famous people now who are poor. They have a lot of people who are not. Listen, they got a lot of TikTokers who are banking 1 million diamonds. It's about $5,000 that they can take home. It's 10. I think it's like 10 or 12,000, but I think TikTok takes like 50 to 60%, something like that. So So when you see $6 million, you go ahead on and say 6 times 5. That's $30,000 that they probably have made in that one day just sitting on their laptop or on phone. So yeah. Now don't get me wrong. That doesn't mean that celebrities have gone away because we understand that, right? That's why Beyonce can be Beyonce. You get what I'm saying? 'Cause she gonna sell out. We always gonna have movie stars and music and sports and all that, but the pedestal they used to stand on is not as high anymore. Society has moved on. Fame alone doesn't guarantee you relevance, and in the end, we're watching a cultural shift. I believe the age of celebrity isn't over, right? But it's no longer the center of everything. The spotlight is wider now. You can spread to millions of voice. You can talk to millions of people without having a machine in between. That third part is no longer needed, and that's why the music industry, like Lizzo had said, is in shambles. She used the word shambles. I didn't. I used it just now because I was repeating what she said, but that's not. I would have just said it's just in full. It's just on fire. I guess right. It is. But anyway, yeah, you just have to be genuine, right? In this new world, it doesn't matter if you're famous or not. People care if they feel like they can relate to you and you are genuine and they see like, okay, because people gonna make a human error. People are gonna mess up. Like I probably done stuttered a couple times on this. You think I care? I do care a little bit. I do. I do care a little bit. But the fact of the matter is, the celebrity culture is dead but not gone. We still remember it. We still hold visuals. We still even celebrate some of our living legends in a sense. But those '90s, well, that time frame, especially what I remember, like the late '90s, 2000s. Yeah, that's gone. Look at the club. But yeah, thank you so much for tuning in. Please share, like, subscribe, and leave a comment if you feel like it.